And good morning. It's time once again for Trust Matters, Real Estate and Estate Planning Solutions with Gateville Law Firm's Sean Robertson. Gateville Law Firm in Yorkville and at gatevillelawfirm.com. And Sean in studio again on this Wednesday. Sean, good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing well.
Good. Our topic today has to do with what's called POD. It's Payable On Death accounts. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, we're going to educate the audience about what is a paid on death account, and the risks that they impose, or the risks that are created with paid on death accounts.
Okay, so what is a POD?
So a POD, and we talked about it a couple shows ago, is basically when you go to like your local bank, you go to your life insurance, your 401k, it's essentially where you name a beneficiary. So it's kind of like inexpensive estate planning, essentially.
And what are the risks of accounts like these?
So basically, there's a couple risks. Number one is failure to update the beneficiaries. It's pretty common where, I hear people say that my spouse died unexpectedly, or I had an adult child that died in a car accident or a stroke or whatever. So that's one of the number one things, is failure to update the beneficiaries. And then the second is sometimes when you have somebody else on another account, so a lot of people will have a parent and will add their names to like a checking account. There's a risk there where if you have a credit problem or you go through a divorce, then it becomes your parent's problem. So those are some of the concerns with the paid on death accounts.
Incapacity issues come into play also?
Yeah, they come into play as well. I think last week we were talking about guardianship. So it still stuns me by how many cases involve incapacity, especially with people getting older. And a lot of times it's people like my parents that this is occurring. So like, for example, if you don't have a power of attorney, and even sometimes with the power of attorney, I'm hearing nightmare stories about people going to the local bank and, accessing the account. And sometimes they'll tell you got to go to court, and that court could be probate or guardianship court.
What about concerns when it comes to creditors?
Yeah, that's a concern too, because if you have one or two people on an account and they have a credit problem, let's say they go through a foreclosure or bankruptcy, it becomes everybody's problem that's on that account. And sometimes they can go attach the money without really giving anybody notice. So the money's gone. You go to the bank one day and all of a sudden the money's gone.
Well, a living trust, having one at least can help solve some issues, right?
Yeah, a living trust can really help solve these issues because, number one, if your bank account is owned by the trust and you have what they call trustees that are people that can sign, you have a smooth process in case of an incapacity or death, the same thing. So living trusts are much greater than relying on paid on death accounts.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about how it can help you avoid probate, which is something that I think folks definitely want to do there, and protection with the creditors too helps out a lot.
Yeah, and that's a big one because, and then a lot of times what I hear too is people go through divorces, like people's kids go through divorces, kids meaning adults, and they're on maybe a parent's house or they're on a parent's account. And those things, unfortunately, you solve one problem and you create another. And that's the benefit of coming to an attorney and doing a living trust, is then you don't have to involve your kids in some of these things. They can be a trustee where then they're over your money versus intermingling their money and your money together.
So a payable on death account, people still go that route because they can avoid probate, right? But still tons of risks involved?
Yeah, there's a lot of risk. I mean, if everything goes great, you'll avoid probate court, and you won't need a will or a trust. But if things go wrong, you're going to be in probate court.
And the living trust, much more of a comprehensive solution there.
Yeah, especially, and one thing we pride ourselves on is a living trust is part of the solution, but really changing your accounts into the trust name or making the trust a beneficiary is really where the peace of mind comes in.
Well, it's a lot of complicated stuff, but that's where Gateville Law Firm comes in, and Sean Robertson and all of the crew at Gateville Law Firm can help answer all of your questions and get you on the right path. Find out more by going to gatevillelawfirm.com. They're in Yorkville. You can call 630-780-1034. The show is Trust Matters, Real Estate and Estate Planning Solutions with Gateville Law Firm. We'll see you again next time.